Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, let's talk about saving a fortune on your G Scale track. All of my track is LGB, it's the good stuff, but it's used. I bought it all used for about a third of the price of new. And yeah, something like all of this track I've spent, I think, 280 euros or just short of, including shipping. And I would say that's about a third of the price of new. So if you look at a normal piece of track, you see it's brass colored on the sides and freshly cleaned on the top by me, and then you find this older piece of track which is black on the sides, by and large in good shape, but it's just black on the sides, and the tops of the rails of all of this track, bar one or two small pieces, was in a very similar state. So the first thing I did when I got it home, back to the apartment, was I put it in the dishwasher because there's no woman around and I can get away with it. If you can do it, it's much easier than washing it. I put it in the dishwasher on a long hot wash and it's just fine. The next thing I did was take it out, dry it off, and then I tried various methods of polishing it, and Brasso and all sorts of different polishes, and this stuff was just such a sorry state that it wouldn't clean up, it wouldn't conduct electricity or anything onto the wheels of the train. So what it did was, and many LGB purists out there will be hollering in protest, and they're quite right really, but I didn't have a choice because this was such a state. So I used some 400 grit sandpaper, very, very gently, and I mean very gently, by using a sort of a spongy type 3M sanding block, and just cleaned it until the rails came up shiny. In fact, you can see there's some spots there which are still dark, so that'll need a bit more. See, something that bad, I'd rather just try and polish it out with Brasso, but the problem with Brasso is it makes it very slippery and then your wheels don't grip. So the other thing I had to deal with is I bought 4 of these switches, and they're all manual and they work fine now, but they didn't work at all. They were all gummed up and just jammed solid. They wouldn't move. It was a real mess. So after I'd run it through the dishwasher, very carefully remove this screw, pop it off, and inside there's like a little pin sticking out with the mechanics inside. You can carefully remove it, try not to lose the spring. In fact, if you can leave the spring on, all the better. It's quite fiddly to get it back in. But I cleaned it all up, dried it off, and then I just use inside of here, and then the sliding mechanism under the rails. You'll see that moving. I use WD-40. I would prefer to use like a dry Teflon type spray so it doesn't get gummy, but I didn't have a choice. That's all I had to use. So all in all, about 70 odd pieces of track took me, I'd say, 3.5 hours to clean one evening, which, let's be honest, I'm not doing anything else because it's dark here at 4:30, so gave me something to do one night. The other place I've saved money is when I was designing my layout, that section there and that section there, the software, and I use Apple software to design my layout, Rail Modeler Pro. The system said that I should be using an adjustable piece. That's the only thing I could get to fit. Well, I needed 2 of them, and each of those are 25, 30 euros each. So for me to spend 60 euros on 2 pieces of track is just lunacy. So what I did was I found these, and these are standard LGB 52mm, and I bought 5 of them. I've got 1 spare. So there's 2 being used there and 2 being used over there. And I bought those for a couple of euros each. So that's another way of saving money. And the nice thing about LGB is when you're designing your layout, if you use software to design it, you're not going to buy excessive pieces of track, because you can buy these in 1s and 2s, or you can buy them in bundles. It's up to you. But that's just something to bear in mind, that if you're looking to save money or do this on a budget, that's the way to do it, really. So, okay guys, that's it. Thanks for watching, and next video we will talk about the transformer and the controller. I've managed to find one of those, and again, save a huge amount of money, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, take care.